Hello viewers, welcome to this demonstration of our custom invoice management and FBR integration system, all developed by Team Buildify, your trusted freelancing partner for powerful tailored business solutions. Now this system is built using React.js, Supabase as the database for managing records and Bootstrap with live API integrations from the FBR, Federal Bureau of Revenue of Pakistan. In this video, I'll walk you through the uploading invoices via Excel, validating buyer and seller HS codes, calculating taxes in real time, and sending data directly to FBR, all from one secure dashboard. Okay, now here is the sign up page where you have to create an account as a user or as a company. You can enter your email, your business email and password and name of your company, say XYZ. And here is the FBR token. Now this is the key that will connect your system to the FBR's portal and their schema so that you can send your invoices directly to FBR and get responses from there. So carefully you have to enter the correct key over here. Also, this can be the sandbox testing API key as well as the production API key. Your system would work for both, right? So once you sign up, it'll take you to the login page for you. And in the login page, you can enter the email you have just, right? This is the email you had and you can enter your password. You do not have to enter again and again the API key. So you can always log in with your email and password. And once you log in, it takes you to the dashboard. Now this is welcome to XYZ company. This is your dashboard from where you can create invoices and send invoices directly to FBR. Now this is connected to the FBR, integrated to the FBR via your token. Now here you can create invoice and view past invoices as well. But before creating any invoice, one thing you have to make sure is you have to add buyers and add sellers and add HS codes as well. Now adding buyers, you can add registered and unregistered both buyers depending on what kind of invoice or scenario you are sending to the FBR, right? So once you will add buyer, it will automatically give buyer a code. It's auto generated so that you can keep record or maintain record of how many buyers you have added in year 25. This 25 stands for the year 25 and B is for buyer, right? Now here you can name your buyer, say you can add buyer's name here, and you can add any NTN number over here or CNIC number depending on the format, and you can have any address of the buyer, and from here you can select the province. Now these drop downs are coming from the FBR's schema. We are directly fetching them from FBR's schema. So for example, if FBR removes this Punjab from their schema, so it will not be shown here, right? So this is coming from there. So say we are selecting Sindh. So once we save buyer, now our system has this code B25-601. This is for my first buyer. If I want to add another buyer, I can do that and it will get automatically the code B25-602. Right now here you can see the maintaining records of the buyers. You can see the total buyers are 1 and you can have all of the information. You can edit the information of added buyers as well without code. You cannot of course edit the code, but you can edit all other information. Say I'm editing the province, so it gets Punjab, and if I save it, so the new province for this buyer is Punjab. Now you can search buyers from here as well, using keys or using years or the whole code, right? Once you return to the dashboard, you have to do the same for seller. You have to add seller, but you have to make sure that your seller is registered under FBR, otherwise your invoice will be invalid, right? Again, seller is getting the same generated code, and once we add the seller, say I'm adding the one which is registered under my FBR. We have seller address and Sindh. Okay, now after adding the sailors, you can view your sailors from here as well. As you can see, we have added just one sailor yet. So it's showing us that you can edit in the same way and you can have the management of sailors in the same way. You can search them as you did for buyers. Okay, now you have to add your HS codes. The HS codes that are registered or that you are using under your business, you have to add them so that you can directly fetch their information in the creating invoice, right? Now in the HS code, you have to add HS codes with their product description and the unit of measures. You can see the unit of measures will give you all the drop downs that are at the FBR's schema, so you can select from there, and same text rates are also fetching from the FBR's schema, so you can text here as well, right? So this is the whole information that you have to give, and now this is stored under this HS code, and you cannot reuse or re-enter this HS code as the second one. So this is a unique identifier for your HS codes. Now once we save this HS code, it says HS code added successfully. Now you are ready to create your first invoice from here. Let us create it. Now again, invoice is also getting the code. INV stands for invoice, 2025 is the year, and 601 is your first invoice. From here you have to enter the date. Say we are adding today's date, and here you have to select the invoice type. If you're selecting debit note or credit note, you have to give the reference number. If not, then you can select sale invoice or purchase invoice. For that, reference invoice number is not needed to the FBR, right? Then you have to give the scenario you are sending, and buyer registration type, we are saying unregistered for now. And from here you will get drop down of all the sailors you have added, the codes. Once you select the code, automatically it will fill all the fields for that sailor, so you do not have to re-enter again and again for every invoice. This is auto generated. You just have to select the code, and business name, NDN, province and address will be fetched, right? Same is the case for the buyer. We have added just one buyer yet, so we have that code, right? Now here are the invoice items. You have to select the HS code for the invoice items. Automatically your product description, tax rate and unit of measures, these all will be filled. You can change your sales type, okay, depending on the invoice. You can change your value, sales value. Say we are adding 1000 or 10,000 or whatever. You can have this fixed notified value. You can have any one at a time of them. You cannot change your rate because this is coming from the HS code. You can change the quantity. Your total will be changed according to that. You can see it, right? And you can change the text withheld value, right? And here you have some optional fields. If you're giving them into your item, then they will of course impact your total. For example, if I'm giving discount of 200, so it will change my total. Same way, if I am adding further text, so it will add that value into my total, and so on. So you can give these optional values, otherwise they'll be treated as 0. You can add another item as well. If you want to add another item, same way you can add it, and if you want to remove it, you can remove it from here, right? So this is our first invoice. Let me submit it, and it will say that your invoice has been added successfully. Now this was the first invoice that I added using this form. You can also add invoices using Excel. For example, you want to import an Excel file. Let me show you the Excel file we'll be using. We have the template that you have to use for the Excel file here. This is the template which has first serial underscore number is the first column, which is basically identifying that how many invoices you have. For example, here I have two rows, and they are having same number, serial number. That means this is only one invoice, but it has two different items. So till now, invoice type, invoice reference number, scenario ID, buyer registration type, seller code and buyer code, right? This information will remain same in a single invoice, but after that, HS code, quantity, sales value, withheld, all of the information that is required for the item, that will change. So this will identify it like as one single invoice with two different items, right? So this is the case. And there's a second invoice which I have. Now you have to make sure that the seller or buyer code you're giving here, they have to be added into your invoice. Otherwise Excel will give you an error that we do not find any kind of seller or buyer. Same goes for the HS codes. So here we are giving the HS code 1006.3090, but here I am giving 1006.3091, which means this I haven't added yet. You have seen it. So this means if I import this Excel, it will say me that we have just imported one invoice, which is this, which has two items, but this second invoice is not imported. Let us now try importing it. So import via Excel. Now here you have to choose the file. I'm choosing the same file, Excel template that I showed you. Now here you'll see you'll get an error that second invoice is not imported. One invoice successfully, skipped one invoice, just its serial number was 2, and it says invalid HS code 1006.3091 for user, because you haven't added this HS code yet into your system, right? So it gives you all kind of errors over here, so you can rechange or re-edit your file. So now from here we are going back to dashboard. Now in view past invoices, we must have two invoices. One we generated from the form and other we imported from the Excel. One would have only one item that was from the form, but Excel one would have two items. So let us check now this. Here are our two invoices, invoice id 1, and automatically the excel invoice got the invoice code 2 because we already had one, right? Now here we have all information. From action buttons, you have four buttons: view items, send to FBR, download PDF, and edit. Let's say we go into the view items. We have just single item that we added. Say for example, I'm going to the second invoice, view items, and I'll be having two items but that I added from my Excel file, right? These are the Excel file imports. And you also have in item code as well. Invoice code is 2 and item code is 1 and 2. So that means your second invoice has two items, right? So this is how you keep the record of it. Now you can edit your invoices as well. If you want to edit from here, you can edit your invoices. You can get the whole information. For example, if I have added the first item into my Excel invoice, and if I want to remove it from the second item, I can do it directly from here, right? So you can do it as well, and you can click on update, so you will get your edited invoice over here. Now let us see the status. The status is pending. That means we haven't sent to FBR yet. So if I download the PDF without sending to FBR, it will give me a PDF of my invoice data like this: buyer and seller information and all the HS code, quantity, unit of measures, rate, total, everything. And here's the signature part. But it's not giving me any information from the FBR. So let's now just send this to FBR. We are sending if this invoice is valid with respect to FBR's schema. That means it will get the valid response. So let us check that. Since I added everything correctly, so it must send successfully to FBR. Now once you click on OK, it will reload the page and you will see the FBR invoice number. You have the FBR invoice number and status is valid now, right? Now your send button is disabled because you cannot send the same invoice again. But now if you download the PDF, it will give you the updated PDF which will have the FBR's invoice number. Of course, that's what we need, and it will have the QR code also. You can generate your FBR invoice number from QR code, and this is the logo for the FBR. Same way, if I'm sending my second invoice which is invalid now, okay, I've added the invalid invoice. So let us see what I'm getting. I'll get the invalid response from FBR that duplicate invoice exists. There's an error coming from the FBR that you have second item same duplicated as the first item. So you will get the same invalid invoice errors as you are getting from the FBR, right? So this is how we maintain our invoices over here, and your system, your website dashboard is now directly connected to the FBR. You do not have to handle these things manually now, right? Thank you for watching this demo of our invoice management and FBR integration system developed by Team Buildify. If your business issues invoices in Pakistan and you are still manually submitting to FBR, you are losing time and risking errors. This system changes that. If you want the same system integrated into your business, enabling you to directly manage invoices and FBR submissions from one secure platform, yes, you are at the right place. We can build and customize it for you. So contact us at buildify.connect@gmail.com and let's just set up your business for smarter, faster, and fully compliant invoicing system. Thank you.